I remember watching an interview with you and Fight Hype, which is a big combat sports channel in the US. And you said, I got the quote here, it's about the Wilder and Fury matchup, number 3 of trilogy, that Wilder is burning a lot of unnecessary energy mentally. What do you mean by that?
He's focusing on wanting to hurt Fury, wanting to knock him out, wanting to prove to the world that, that the second time was a fluke. Don't wait, save that energy. Save that energy for fight night. You know what I mean? He should be focusing on more of how can he make this fight easier than it was the last 2 times. Not going out there and making it a war. For what? He has the ability to make it an easier fight. And I think he should focus on his attributes that work in his favor.
Oh, okay. I remember you also said after that you also yourself, you've rebuilt guys from when they come back from such a tough loss, or you've rebuilt them up to be a great fighter again. For example, would be Artur. How did you think the Wilder gets back on track after such a tough loss to Fury the second time around?
I think Wilder needs to go back to the drawing board, back to the basics, and then everything else will fall in place.
And he did that with Malik Scott. What do you think about his partnership with Malik Scott?
I mean, listen, I love Malik, and I'm happy for him that he's got the job. Malik was trained by Harold Knight, who was an old school guy. So I hope Malik takes some of that, what he learned from Harold Knight, and transform it into Deontay. You know what I mean? And hopefully that'll work. That combination will work.
And what I find really kind of odd about the partnership, I would say, I went on Box Rec and I went on Malik Scott's record, and Wilder had previously knocked him out. Do you think there's any awkwardness there that Wilder beating up his trainer beforehand?
Nah, not at all. Sometimes that relationship can make it closer.
And why is that?
Because, it's a respect thing. I respect you for wanting to take the job to train me after I beat you. And then you tell the guy, I respect you for bringing me aboard after beating me. So, it goes both ways. But I think that over the years, they've developed a very good friendship. So if they can take that friendship and put their minds together and worry about winning and not killing, then it'll be a different ballgame.
Oh, okay. I hadn't really thought about it that way. That's quite an interesting way to think of it. And just one last point I wanted to touch on. After our last interview, I should have mentioned this. You were in Artur corner when he fought Floyd Mayweather. Here, I said again, you're in Artur corner when he fought Floyd Mayweather. What was that fight like to be around? And after each round, when Artur got back to the corner, what were you telling him?
Well, to be honest with you, the hype and everything was great. But once the bell rang, I mean, you see it. So there's nothing to really say. You see what Floyd did. So the key at that point was to try to save Artur.
So when he was coming out of the corner, what were you telling? What advice were you giving him? What were you telling him?
To be honest, I really don't remember. You know what I mean? I couldn't really tell you at this point. You know what I mean? But no matter what I told him that night, it wouldn't have helped him. Floyd was on fire that night.
There he certainly was. Do you think Floyd's where would you rank Floyd in the greatest of all time for pound list?
You don't want to know that answer.
Why not?
It's not in the top 10, I can tell you that.
Oh, wow, really? Not in top 10 all the time?
No, not at all.
And why is that?
There's too many great fighters before him.
So who do you think, obviously it's quite hard now to name the top 10, but who do you think are the top 5 greatest fighters of all time?
I mean, you got Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, Ezra Charles, Jersey Joe Walcott, Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard. You know what I mean? Sugar Ray Leonard was unbelievable. Sugar Ray Leonard, not only was Sugar Ray Leonard a great fighter, Sugar Ray Leonard was mean, man. He was mean in that ring, man.
What do you like about him so much? How was he so mean in the ring?
He just had that instinct. He had that killer instinct, man. And that instinct to want to be the best. And, he took on all challenges, Ray. And he made adjustments well. I mean, Ray could do it all, man.
So do you think, but where would you rank Floyd then? In the top 20 then?
I got to think on that one. Call me next week. I'll give you.
I'll send you a message next week. All right, buddy. That's great. Thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I can't hear you.